What is going on, guys? Football Recaps here, and today I'm back with another college football prediction video. And today I'm going to be talking about the Oregon Ducks versus the Washington Huskies. Now, Oregon has been on a roll ever since they got destroyed by the Georgia Bulldogs. They beat UCLA. They pretty much handed them, and then they beat some other teams as well. That's pretty decent. So they're 8-1 and 6-0 in the conference. Honestly, I felt like the Oregon Ducks have gotten a lot better on offensively and defensively when Mario Cristobal left. And I think Lanning is the new head coach, Dan Lanning, I think, the Georgia defensive coach, who's now the head coach for Oregon. And Washington and Michael Penix Jr., they played really well this year. Though they lost to UCLA by like a touchdown. I mean, they beaten Oregon State, who was ranked 23rd in the nation as well, but they're 7-2 and 4-2 in the conference. They've actually played really well this year. So it's been an interesting year for the Pac-12. This game, honestly, is going to be an interesting game because Oregon could potentially go all the way and win. And they're, as you guys can see, right now they're ranked 8th in the nation. But they'll probably change tomorrow or later today in the college football playoffs rankings. But if Oregon can win out, and if other teams lose, potentially they could actually be in the college football playoffs. I mean, they're only ranked 8th in the nation. I mean, they could potentially go all the way. Bo Nix has been playing really, really well. I mean, he plays really well compared to he played at Auburn, but that's just Auburn because the SEC West is tough to play in that environment as well. But, I mean, Oregon's played really well this year. Washington's played great this year. I mean, this game is going to be really interesting. I think this is going to be a key game to whoever possibly can go to either the college football playoffs, which is Oregon, or Washington can win out and then possibly go to the conference championship. I don't know. I don't really know. Actually, can we look at the... No, we can't. All right. But, yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting game. This is going to be a must-win game for Oregon, and it's also going to be an upset for Washington if they do beat Oregon. This game will be played on November 12th, 2022. Time is to be determined, and this is going to be at Austin Stadium. So this is going to be at Oregon, and I think it's going to be a tough environment as well. So let's go ahead and go through the match predictor, and I'd like to read off the season leaders, and of course, then base my prediction off of the team stats. And then the last 5 to 6 games that the teams have played. All right, so the match predictor has Oregon with a 77.5 compared to Washington's 22.5. And there is your match predictor. Season leaders, we have passing yards. We have Michael Penix Jr. with, let me see here. Let me zoom in on that. All right. So you guys can see, or you can pause the video and then look at it, and then you can basically just zoom out. So Michael Penix Jr., who transferred from Indiana, has played really well this year. Could be in the Heisman, but I guess they don't really talk about him much. But he's done a really great job with Washington this year. Completed 260 to 391 attempts, 3,232 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Bo Nix is almost similar with the touchdown to interception ratio, but has less amount of passing yards. He has 200 completions to 273 attempts, 2,495 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Now, Washington fans, if I butcher this last name wrong, I am sorry, but this last name I cannot. Is Wayne Talapa. I'm sorry if I pronounced that last name wrong, but he has 92 carries, 476 rushing yards, and 6 touchdowns. Really, really good for him. Irving also has done a great job this year with the running game, and because C.J. Friedel, I think, left to go to USC or something like that, so they've had some losses from the running game, but they picked it up this year, and the new head coach for Oregon has done a great job with this team. They're 8-1, and I don't think anybody expected Oregon to be this good this year. So yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it. I like Oregon. So Irving has 100 carries, 688 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. And of course, Washington for receiving yards, if I pronounce his last name wrong, again, Odunes, if I pronounce that last name wrong, you can just roast me in the comment section because those two names are very, I just did not want to destroy their names. But so yeah, 57 receptions, 858 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns. Really, really good. Dude's a beast. Franklin from Oregon, 39 receptions, 636 yards, receiving, and then 5 touchdowns. He's done a excellent job this year. So I mean, I think this is gonna be a high-scoring type of game, and because Washington's pretty good in the passing game, and of course they're also good in the running game, and of course Oregon's actually good on defense. But or actually, it can be a high scoring game in my opinion. All right, so team stats, we have points per game. We have Washington's 38.6 compared to Oregon's 43.1. Then we have points allowed per game, which is similar, which is 26 allowed points per game. But I don't really understand what the 0.9. What is that, a field goal? And of course, and then Oregon has 3. All right, total yards. This is what I mean that it could be a high scoring game. Total yards, 495.6 compared to Oregon's 520.6. Yards passing, 370.2 compared to Oregon's 289.3. Yards rushing, 125.3 compared to Oregon's 231.2. I do think that they run a lot of RPO type plays with Oregon because Bo Nix is a scrambling type of quarterback, and so is Michael Penix Jr. So I think Oregon does like to run a lot run plays. All right, yards allowed per game. This is where I say it's going to be very interesting to see how this game plays out. Yards allowed, we have Washington's 355.3, Oregon's 384.1. Yards passing allowed, 237.8 compared to Oregon's 276.6. So rushing yards allowed, we have Washington's 117.6 compared to Oregon's, who's done a great job so far with 107.6. Not bad for both teams, but you can definitely tell that the teams struggle in the secondary. All right, so based off the team stats, based off the last 5 games that Oregon's played, Oregon's beaten UCLA pretty good handily. They beat Arizona pretty good handily. They beat Stanford, who's actually not that bad in my opinion. Washington, they beat Oregon State, who's actually in the come up. They've done an excellent job. They beat Cal. They beat Arizona too. And then they struggled against Arizona State, and they struggled against UCLA. Since it's at Oregon, I think I'm going to lean towards Oregon with a minus 10 points, especially in that environment. That's a tough environment to play because Oregon has a great environment for football. Not saying that Washington also has a great environment for football, but I think that Oregon, in that environment, on that in that team or that stadium, I think Washington's going to have some issues. But I still think it's going to be a high-scoring game, maybe in like the high 30s points, or could be in the 40s, but who knows. But I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Oregon's going to win by minus 10 points. So let me know what you guys think about this game, and I'm really excited for this game. And this is going to be a big game for Oregon as well. All right, guys, full recaps here. Hope you have a great day, and see you guys later, and y'all have a great week as well. Peace out.